Hello, fellow music people. Welcome to a brand new tier list. Today, I'm going to be ranking every single FL Studio plugin from effects to synths, and these are just strictly stock plugins, no third-party plugins, no features that aren't plugins, just strictly stock plugins. And this is from the oldest plugins all the way up to version 2025. Um, I really hope I didn't miss any plugins because there's just so many, and I don't know. I just hope I didn't miss any. But if I did, let me know in the comments. So we're just gonna start right away because this is gonna be a long video. All right, so we're gonna start with 3x oscillator. This is the most basic synthesizer you can use, but it's also pretty good. It's great for beginners. You got all the basic. You got all the basic uh, wave shapes. Um, got all these here. You got white noise. You can import your own audio file if you want. Um, your third oscillator can be used for ring modulation, which could be cool to experiment with. A lot of synths actually lack this feature, so it's nice that they have it for 3x oscillator. And then here, if you click the little gear thing, uh, you can control your ADSR and your LFOs for your volume and for filters if you map it to low pass or whatever. And then you can also modulate your pitch and your panning. So, and then this is where you adjust your audio file or your wave shape. And then this is just additional effects such as arpeggiators, delays, and velocities and stuff. Every synth is gonna have this menu here, so I'm not gonna show it on every single synth, but just know that they all have that. Whereas these two, I mean, they might lack these two sections, but I mean that's usually because they're already in the front page itself, so don't expect that to be on every single one of them. But this last tab will be there, so yeah. So I'm just gonna put in the middle. I still use it sometimes to make lead sounds or a bass sound, just to get a quick sound in without having to open a big plugin like Citrus or Harmor or something. Okay, and then next we got 7-band EQ. This is gonna go in the bad tier just because there's just way better EQs out there that you can use. I just wouldn't recommend it since its main problem is that you only have you only have fixed frequencies. You can't adjust them to different frequencies, and you can only boost or reduce the dB. And just you can only boost or reduce. There's no resonance knob. There's no low cut or high cut, and yeah, it just lacks all those flexible options. So that's why it's in the bad tier. Even the mixer has its own built-in EQ, which is way better since it's got more control. Um, yeah, that's all I have to say really about 7-band EQ. Next, we got Autogun. This is a very interesting plugin since it stands out as having the most presets out of every plugin. It's got like, I don't know, 4 billion presets or something. For me, it's gonna go in the meh tier just because it's gonna take forever to just go through every sound, and most of the time the sounds are garbage. But I mean, you will find some nice sounds in there. Sometimes I use it if I want like a starting point. I might hear a sound and be like, "Oh, this is a cool sound. I might use it." Or you can use it to layer it with other sounds, but it's not in my main. It's not in the front of my mind when I'm just looking for something quick to put in my mix. So that's why it's in That's why it's in meh tier. It's only got two knobs, and you can see that this big one is the volume, and then the thing below that's another knob. It's like a compressor or something. I don't know, but yeah. Next we got Fruity Balance, I think. Yeah, Fruity Balance. I kind of messed up, as you can see. I forgot to crop it out, but oh well. I don't really know where to put this. I honestly don't use it, but I guess it can be handy to have a separate gain knob. I think, well, maybe you can use it for patcher, but it's not a plugin I use too often just because there's already many ways to increase and reduce volume. But maybe for like patcher, it could be useful there. I don't know, but I was gonna put it in handy for now. I don't know what is this plugin again? I think this is Bass Boost. Um, yeah, I'm just gonna put it in bad just because you have um a lot of EQs that can do the same thing. You even got a whole freaking I think it's called Low Lifter. I don't know which. I think it's this one, Low Lifter. It's a very recent plugin they added that can not only increase the bass frequency but also add more harmonics. So okay, I'm getting ahead of myself. Just gonna put it in bad for now. Next is Bass Drum. It's another pretty bad plugin. The UI is, I mean, it's a decent UI, but I just don't like the sounds that makes, and I'd rather just make my own kick drum through Citrus or literally through any other any other synth than this thing. I don't really know how to use it, but there's even other plugins that can already make drums. Like there's Drum Pad, which you can make your own drums with, or customize your own drums. There's um, I don't know. That's probably the only good one in here, to be honest. Oh, and there's Drum Max as well, but okay. I need to stop getting ahead of myself. Let's move on to Beep Map. This is, oof, I don't know. It's another bad plugin for me. What it does is that you import your own image down here, and then it'll basically. I think it makes like a weird kind of eerie noise most of the time. I don't know. It's kind of a weird plugin. I never used it before, and I don't plan to use it just because it's such a weird sound it makes. Yeah, I'm just gonna. I don't know. I don't even know where to put this. Probably here, because I mean, I guess it's kind of cool, but also way too niche. Fruity Big Clock. Another very strange plugin. I don't know. Maybe some people need this plugin because they're blind or something. I don't know. I'm just gonna put in the question mark because I don't know why. I don't know if I want to say it's bad. It's definitely not up there. I can tell you, but I'm gonna put it here for now. Okay. Finally, we got something good. This is Fruity Blood Overdrive. This is a distortion plugin. Sorry, just had to adjust my mic real quick. This is a distortion plugin. It's like a kind of like a saturator. It's a very not gentle, but it's not an aggressive type of distortion plugin. So, um, some distortion plugins overdo it. This one doesn't really overdo it unless you enable the times 100 thing. That will really overdo it, but my opinion, it's I wouldn't say it's super useful. It's kind of handy. I don't use distortion plugins too much, but it can be good to maybe bring out your kick drum more, or just, I don't know, make something louder. Yeah. What is this? Boo Bass? Yeah, it's a pretty bad plugin. Don't really know why it exists other than to just, I don't know, be a joke. But what is this plugin? Is this what did I? Oh, this is the center plugin thing, right? The DC center thing. I don't know. Handy, I guess. I think what it does is that if you turn it off or if you turn it on, it's gonna basically fix your DC offset, or if there's any like phase problems, it'll fix it for you. I've never had to use it before, but I mean, if you need it, it's there. So cool. All right. Next is chorus. I like chorus. It's a cool effect. I'm not really a fan of the original version because it just has a lot of knobs. Like I can show you here in the let's see, where is, here it is. Oh god, yeah, I had to make these really big to crop them easier, but here, let me just bring the scaling down. That should be good enough. I don't know, should be able to see that, right? So look how many knobs it has, and a lot of them are kind of similar, like LFO 1 frequency, 2, 3. Like a lot of these are kind of duplicated, so it might be too overwhelming at first, but I will say the presets sound good, so that's why, it's at least a handy. It's in the handy tier, but not much more than that, I'll tell you. Um, Next we got compressor, and I like compressor. It's a very useful effect. I'm gonna put in the super useful just because I do use it a lot. Now it's not the prettiest looking compressor plugin. I know there's probably better ones out there, but for me this works perfectly fine. It does the job right, so I can't complain. Um, what is this plug? I don't know what the. I think this is the control plugin, control surface. That's what it is. Okay. Yeah, I'm just gonna put it in handy. It might be useful if you wanna do some patcher stuff with it. Um, let's see, Fruity Convolver. Ooh, I really like this plugin. I might put it in the God tier. I think I like it the most out of all the reverb plugins, just because um, it's the most unique of them all, and it's pretty simple to use, despite it looking kind of crazy. Like I can show you. Um, it's not too hard to use. Um, it kind of looks similar to Edison, but it's not Edison. It's more like what this is. It basically takes a sound you recorded or an impulse, and whatever sound is playing, it'll basically mimic that effect, if that makes sense. So like it'll make it sound like it's in an auditorium with the doors inside, or sound like you're on a desk, or it sounds like it's inside of an oven that's closed. I don't. It's just a way to add realism to your sound. So that's why I really like it. And plus, oh yeah, one more thing: the knobs on the top aren't too difficult to understand. I mean, you just have dry, you got your wet. You can turn it up or down if you want. I usually just leave it as it is, but it's nice. And then equalizer. It's also an EQ. There's an EQ built in that you can use, which, it might be confusing at first, but it's still nice to have, right? So yeah, that's Fruity Convolver. For me, it's a got in the God tier section. All right. I don't want people to point a gun at me, so I'm just gonna put you here. Whatever. Okay. Dashboard. I think this is like an outdated version of another plugin. I don't know if people. I don't know. I don't know what this does, to be honest. I'm just gonna put it in this tier. dB meter. Okay, for me, this is a bad plugin. Just because, I mean, there's another plugin that does the same thing as this, but better. In my opinion, just because it looks nicer. But yeah, I'm just gonna put it there. Um, let's see what is this? I don't. Is this? Oh, these are the delay plugin. Okay. I got this. So this is gonna be quick. So delay 1, delay 2, and delay 3. This one's gonna go here. Just because delay 1, I mean it's very simple, but it's still a delay plugin. You know, if you want a simple, basic delay sound, delay effect, you can just use delay 1. No sense in using delay 3 just for, I don't know, like 4 extra notes of echo. And then delay 2, it's slightly more advanced, has more, it's more knobs to turn, more cool effects you can make with this. But then Fruity Delay 3, it's definitely the most advanced, and that's because it has this feedback section, which you can make into a high pass, or have the echoes be a high pass or bypass, or not band pass. Sorry. And there's also this. You can have them just be. You can add distortion to the delays. You can even bit crush them here. And I think this adds like a wobbly, like a vibrato effect to the copied signals. So yeah, it's just a lot more cool effects you can do. Although I don't really use it much, so I'm gonna put it a little bit lower than the compressor. But yeah. Okay, this is Fruity Delay Bank. This allows you to have up to 8 different delays. I don't know. I've never really had to use more than one delay plugin for any patch I've made, so I don't know. It might be handy though. I'll put it here. Okay, this is Direct Wave. This is like a sampler plugin with a lot of controls. I've never really used this, so I'm gonna have to put it. For me, I'm just gonna put it here. I personally don't use it, but I have heard that you can bypass any limitations. Like if someone's using like a patch from Serum and the other person doesn't have Serum, they can just record it here and then just send it to whoever they're collaborating with. I've heard that's a way they use it. So yeah, obviously there's more uses than that, but yeah, that's still a use. So this one is Destructor. I really like this plugin. I'm gonna put it here. I like it more than Delay 3. So let me show you what it does. So Destructor. This is a multi-effect plugin. It's got distortion, it's got filters, chorus, and the speaker impulse effect, or convolver, I don't know, but it's cool that you can use all 4 of these at the same time, or you can use a distortion, or you can use 2 distortions or 2 filters, however you want to use it. It's a very cool effect. I really like it, so I do use it from time to time. And I think I did use it recently. No, I didn't use it recently, but I did. I still have used it a couple of times. I just can't remember which songs I used them in. But yeah, great plugin. Next we got Drum Max. I don't know. I honestly don't like this plugin. It's just meh. I'm gonna put it in the meh tier. There's just way too much going on. It's too confusing to use, but some people might like this plugin. I don't know. I can't say it's a bad plugin just because it's just not bad at all. Just not for me. Drum pad. I've used this a couple of times. I don't know. I don't really design. I'm pretty bad at designing drums, so I don't know where to put it. I'm just gonna put it here. I'll put it here for now. It's a little better than Drum Max just because it's easier to use and it's more specific to creating drum sounds rather than Drum Max. It's like a drum sequencer or drum kit maker morphed into one. I don't know. It's kind of confusing, but yeah. That's all I have to say really. Next is Drum Synth Live. Yeah, this is Drum Synth. This is another bad plugin in my opinion. I the sounds that you hear from this, you can easily find them in the audio section or you can find them here in the browser. And they're all like the 808, 909 or Roland sounds, all the classic drum sounds. It might be cool to use, but I just prefer to use audio files since I don't know, they're just easier to find there than here. Next is DX10. I really like this plugin. I recently learned how to use it, and it is an awesome plugin. It's great for making bells or for just FM synthesis in general. Some cool sounds I've made through here, so I'm gonna put it in super useful. In my most recent song, I actually did use a sound through here, so that's awesome. Next, we got Edison. This is probably the most important plugin for recording live performance stuff. For recording vocals. I think everyone's gonna use this plugin at some point, even if you don't do any live recording stuff. It's still great for editing audio files and doing all sorts of things with it. So that's why it's in the God tier. Next, we got Effector. I honestly do not like this plugin. It's pretty awful. Just because, what's the point of having like 12 or so effects only to be able to use one at a time? Besides, it's kind of confusing too. Like, let me show you in full detail. Okay, so this is the plugin. You got all these effects here. They might seem useful, like lo-fi, stereo. They might seem like cool effects, but then we got this. Like, what does it mean when you move it here or up there? And you have to. I don't know. I think it's meant for like live performance stuff. So, okay, maybe it's not okay. Maybe, I don't know. It might be too harsh actually. Maybe it's not a bad plugin, but it's very close to being bad. So I'm gonna put it in meh. Because maybe it could be useful for live performance stuff. So, it's just very confusing to use. So. Next we got is this I think this is one of the newer ones, right? And I think it's called Emphasis. Yeah, Emphasis. Okay. This is like a mastering plugin, and holy crap, it is an awesome plugin. I like this plugin. I'm gonna put it in the God tier. It's something I'm gonna be using in every single song I make. What it does is just allows you to adjust your loudness at whatever point you want. So the presets are very good. I've only used the presets. I've never really messed around with the knobs, but I can tell you the presets work wonders. So yeah. Next we got Fruity Envelope Controller. Just gonna put it in the handy tier. Good for good for patcher stuff. You can, if you don't like the ADSR knobs in Poison or something, or can't find them in 3x Oscillator, then you can use this plugin to kind of get around that problem. So, not just for volume, but I think also for filters, you can do it on any parameter. So. Next we got EQO. I don't really know what this does. I think it's like a um, it's definitely an EQ plugin, but I honestly I don't know what it does. I think it allows you to pan boosted frequencies in different different sides, but I honestly don't know. I'm gonna put in this tier for now, because I don't know if I'll ever need to use this or not. Because I've never used it before. I don't know if there's any videos on it or not. Okay, let's move on to Fruity Fast Distortion or Fast Dist. Um, yeah, I don't really have much to say about it. It's just a simple distortion plugin. Um, next, Fruitkick. Yeah, I'm just gonna put it right next to bass drum. Yeah, nothing more to say. Fruity Filter. Okay, I'm gonna put in the bad tier just because there is a better filter plugin. And there's just a much better filter plugin, so we'll get into that later. But for now, it's gonna go in the bad tier. All right. FL Keys, another bad plugin. I mean, there are better piano sounds within Flex. Same with better Rhodes. I mean, the Rhodes sounds okay. Same with the organs. I don't know. There's just way better sounds you can find in Flex. FL Slayer, another bad one. Once again, Flex has better guitar sounds. Fruity Mobile Rack or FL Studio Mobile Rack. It's another new addition, and honestly, I kind of like this just because there's some mobile plugins that I really liked, and I'm glad I can use them now through the desktop version. So it's awesome that they added this. Definitely will only use it for effects though, not for the synths themselves, just because I think they sound a little lower quality than the ones on the desktop, but the effects do sound good. I do like the auto duck effect. I like the stereo effect. So next we got Flanger. I really like Flanger. It's a very cool effect. But once again, just like Fruity Chorus, it has way too many knobs and it's just confusing. Like, look at this. Well, it's not as bad as Chorus just because it doesn't have like duplicate numbers, but it's still kind of confusing. However, I do like this one. This is Fruity Flangus, which is like a combination between Chorus and Flanger, I believe. It's definitely a lot simpler to use, and it looks. I kind of like the UI. It looks nice. It's definitely unique compared to what we've seen. All right. Next, we got Flex. All right. Nothing more to say. God tier plugin. I don't know what this is. Formula controller. I think you need math or something to get this to work, and I don't like math, so I'm gonna put in the. Nah, I'm just kidding. I don't know, dude. Handy, I guess. FPC. So this allows you to make your own drum kits, which can be fun to do. So put in the handy tier. I have used it before. I prefer to just make the drum kits through the channel rack. I think it's much easier that way. But it's still nice to be able to make your own custom drum kits and save those presets through FPC. So next we got Free Filter, I think. yeah, once again, bad. There's better filter plugins out there. Frequency shifter. I have used this plugin before. It's a very nice effect if you want to do like riser or something. Um, just be careful though. It can kind of mess up your sound if you don't know what you're doing. So make sure you use it in small doses. Next, we got frequency splitter. I like this plugin. Super useful. Great for if you want to just isolate the bass sound and use your own effects there without messing up too much of the mid or high frequencies. So I use it a lot on bass layers. Um, Great for. It's also good if you want to sidechain something to just the bass or mid frequencies. So, all right. Next we got Fruitkit. Wait. I think I messed up. Hold on. What plugin is this? Fast. Oh, that's fast. I forgot about that. Okay. Well, my choice still stands for fast low pass. This is Fruitkick, so that one, yeah, that's. Like I said, I don't know what every. It's so confusing, dude. So many plugins. Some of them are basic too. All right, let's just move on. This is Granulizer. This is a very cool plugin. Although be honest, I've never used it before, but I think it's definitely one of the more unique plugins out there. It's great if you want to make atmospheric effects or just some other goofy stuff. So for now, I'm just gonna put it in handy. I'm sure I'll use it one day. Maybe get something cool out of it. Next, we got I don't know what this is. Fruity Wrap. Oh, okay, I messed up. Okay, so this is Fruity Wrapper. This is supposed to be down here because Wrapper starts with the W, and I'm doing alphabetical order. In case you haven't noticed that already, I don't know, but believe it or not, Fruity Wrapper is gonna go in the God tier, and that's because this plugin allows you. It's what makes all these plugins function, and it's also what allows you to use third-party plugins. So without this plugin, none of those third-party plugins that everyone uses wouldn't exist or would be unusable. So that's why I'm putting the God tier. Ooh, this one. This is GMS. I love this plugin. God tier plugin. Been using it since FL Studio Mobile, and I still use it to this day. Very awesome plugin. Gross Beats, another awesome plugin. Let's go. Got here. I'm gonna put it here. It basically allows you to create your own unique patterns without having to use like Fruity Slicer or without having to record audio and then chopping it up. You can basically just do it in real time through an effect here. So it's kind of hard to use, but just play around with the presets and you'll for sure get something cool out of it. Yeah, I use it a lot for transition effects as well and for drum fills. Next we got Hardcore. I've never used this plugin before and it looks very outdated. It's gonna go in the meh tier. I don't know, I just think they're better multi effects. This is kind of like an outdated version of Destructor in my opinion, but it's not bad, but just not for me. Next, you got Harmless, another great plugin. I'm gonna put it in super useful. I think I should move this one up a little bit. Put it here. Yeah, this is one of the plugins I use a lot for sound design. It is a sound design plugin. Let me show you here. I have done tutorial videos using Harmless before. It's pretty easy despite it looking like a lot, but pretty easy to use. And also, there's Harmer. So Harmless is basically a lower or a smaller version of Harmer, or just a more simplified version of Harmer. And Harmer, this thing is a freaking powerhouse of a synth. Let me show you. Look at that. Look at all these knobs. And you can even like manipulate an image or an audio file through here. And you can even sort your own effects or order them however you want. Effects here. And then this is like an articulator, which allows you to basically do all your ADSR stuff, all your filters, all your custom filters that you can put here are all controlled through here. So yeah, probably the most advanced synth of them all, which is why it's going in the God tier, because there's just limitless potential with this plugin. Although I haven't used it much, I still think it is a very awesome plugin. HTML Notebook. I don't know how to rank this. Because I don't use it. So question mark. Hyperchorus. Okay, this is a interesting plugin. So what Hyperchorus is basically a chorus plugin, but with more voices or with more. I don't know. It's basically chorus, but to the extreme. So it's a cool effect, although I don't use it that much, just because I feel like Hyperchorus can really overdo your sound or make it sound worse than it was prior to using it. So if you do use it, just be careful, because it can probably make or break your sound. So all right, next we got Kepler. These are Kepler and then Kepler EXO. So these two are fairly new. These are inspired by the old Juno synth. I really like it, although I don't use it too often. I still think they're great synths. So I'm just gonna put this one in the super useful tier, and then the other one's gonna go in handy, just because if I want to use Kepler, just normal Kepler, maybe I want to use it for a quick preset or some I don't know, just for a preset, and I might use EXO if I want to really utilize all the knobs and stuff to its fullest potential. And let me show you what it looks like. So this is, god damn it, where is it? I cannot find it. Oh wait, I'm stupid. It's here. Kepler. So this is. Oh my god, I forgot. It's so long, but this is what Kepler looks like. Pretty simple, right? And then Kepler EXO. And that's what it looks like. I forgot to make it bigger, but oh well. Yeah, it's got more effects you can mess around with here. More ADSR stuff, more LFOs and modulation stuff. Yeah, let's move on to keyboard controller. I'm just gonna put it right next to the envelope controller. Nothing more to say other than good for patcher, I guess. I think this is limiter, right? Yeah, this is limiter. So this is gonna go in the God tier. You can use it as a compressor, as a limiter, but more importantly, you can use it as a way to sidechain your instruments together. So that's what I use limiter for the most, and you can also do some saturation with it. So you can do so much with it, which is why it's going up here. Yeah, that's what. Oh, here it is. So remember how I was saying that these filter plugins suck because there's one that's better. This is it right here. Fruity Love Filter. This is the best filter plugin in FL Studio. Um, yeah, there's just a lot more controls. A lot, you can draw in your own patterns here. You can also use this for like a sidechain effect, which is what I use it for sometimes. Um, yeah, you can modulate your cutoff and your resonance. Even these things you can automate, which I use it a lot for automation, definitely for like master automation. And you can do up to 8 of these, which I don't think I've ever used more than 2, but that's cool, I guess, if you want to. Yeah. This is low filter or low lifter. I mean, sorry. Yeah, I've used it. I've used it a couple of times. It's a pretty good effect. I don't use it very often, but it's definitely a handy effect. Um, it's good for adding extra harmonics to your bass to make it sound less weak. So yeah. Sorry. Next we got Fruity LSD. Yes, that is what it's called, LSD. I don't know what the hell this thing is, and just the name alone makes you want to put it in bad because drugs are bad. All right. All right. Next we got Maximus, another god tier plugin. Um, Great for mastering. Great for just you can use it for compression. You can use it for limiting, saturation, and just you can use it to glue drum tracks together, make it sound more full, more punchier. It can do so many things. That's why it's up here. That's why it's in the God tier. Next we got MIDI out. This is used to send MIDI signals from FL Studio out to other sources, I think. I don't know. I don't know how useful this is. I don't use it. I don't use any MIDI controllers or whatever. I don't know. I'm just gonna put in the question mark tier. Next we got Mini Synth, and this plugin was made for FL Studio Mobile. It even says on the bottom right corner. I don't know. It's kind of meh, to be honest. I sometimes use it for. I've used it in a couple lo-fi songs just because, well, the sound quality isn't that great on it, to be honest. Um, yeah, I'm just gonna. I honestly prefer to use 3x Oscillator over this one. Even in FL Studio Mobile, I didn't really use Mini Synth that much. The presets do sound okay, but actually trying to sound design with this thing, it can be a little tricky to do, especially since there's a lot of menus and yeah, I don't know. Just not my favorite synth at all. Next we got Morphing. This is a very weird synth. I don't know how to use it. I have watched a tutorial before on how to use this, but it's just a very unusual synth. It's not like any other synth where there's like an ADSR. I mean, there's the master envelope, but that's it. That's like the only ADSR you can find. I will say that the presets do sound very good. So I only use this for the presets, and that's pretty much it. Otherwise, for me, it's gonna go in the meh tier, just because it's just so complicated. It's very confusing. but it's not terrible. It's not bad like FL Keys or Bass Drum or LSD, but it's not my favorites. Next, we got multiband compressor. I've used this a couple of times. I don't really know how to use it that well, but I will say the presets do sound good. So that's why I'm gonna put it in. I'm just gonna put it at the bottom of super useful. Yeah, that's all I have to say for it. Or actually, sorry, I guess I should explain what it does. So, what multiband compressor does is basically allows you to compress your low, mids, and high frequencies separately instead of all of them together. Like with Fruity Compressor, it compresses the whole entire audio. Meanwhile, this one will separate it into three. So, yeah, that's what multiband compressor does. It's kind of similar to Maximus, where it also separates into three sides. Although you can you can control the master, or I guess the entire. I think it's still called a master. Let me just compare them real quick. So yeah, you can. They'll separate them into three, but you still have the master here to control them all together, and then you got your multiband compressor. I don't think this one has like a master mode, or maybe it does. I don't know. I just, like I said, I don't use it too much, and also I'm not a fan of the UI. It looks kind of ugly in my opinion, but yeah, that's where I stand on multiband compressor. Next, we got multiband delay. I don't know what it's called. I've yet to really use this, but you can make some cool sounds, some very creative sounds using it. So that's why I'm putting it handy. It's pretty different from your delay plugins, where instead of, well, I don't know how to really describe the sound, but I don't know. It's different. That's all I'm gonna say. But yeah, we're just gonna move on. I don't know. Oh, I know what this is. This is a Mute 2. That's literally what it's called, Fruity Mute 2. I don't know where Fruity Mute 1 is, or why there's even a separate mute plugin in the first place. Like, what does muting, does pressing this button not work, or what? The green button, that's how you mute your mixers. And for some reason, they needed to make a separate plugin for it. Okay, yeah, it's going in the bad tier. Okay, so these two are New Time and New Tone. So these basically allowed you to adjust audio files by raising or lowering the pitch, or by adjusting the rhythm or the sound placement. So this might be good if you mess up a recording and want to make fine adjustments rather than just re-recording it all over again. So I've never really had to use this just because I don't do live recording stuff, but I can see it being useful, so hence why it's in the handy tier. Okay, these are Notebook 1 and 2. I don't know how to rank them because I don't use them. What is that? Oh, this is Ogun. Oh, I love Ogun. Okay. Yeah, Ogun's a cool plugin. It basically allows you to make percussion sounds or bell sounds. Very, very unique synth. It can be a little difficult to use, but I will say the presets sound very good. So, I recommend you have a look at this. It's also responsible for the 4 billion or so presets that Autogun has. So yeah, in case the name sounded familiar, that's because Ogun and Ogun, they share the same suffix. So yeah. Next we got Panomatic. I think I've used this like one time for an effect, and it can work, but it's still a meh plugin. I prefer to just automate the panning here through the mixer or through the. Actually, I think they control the same. I don't know, but I'd rather just automate the panning here than use an entire effects slot to automate the panning. I don't know, but all right. So right here we got parametric EQ. So this is parametric EQ 1. And the reason, okay, I'm gonna put it in bad, and the only reason why is because this one exists. Parametric EQ 2. This is literally just a better version of parametric EQ 1, and also the best EQ plugin of them all. So, arguably, I would say this is the best plugin, the best effect plugin, just because you're gonna always need to use an EQ plugin no matter what. So that's why it's at the very top. Next we got Patcher. Yes, Patcher, another great plugin. It's probably going to go all the way at the top, actually. Never mind what I said about this being the best or this being the best. I don't know. But Patcher, all at the top. This basically allows you to make your own synths, your own effects, your own everything. You can use as many patches as you want, as many effects without any limitations. And I really like this plugin so much. The presets are also great. A lot of presets to use, and I've made some very cool patches using Patcher, and it's just so good. Like, you guys should learn how to use it. Very good plugin. Next we got Fruity P Controller. It's a nice plugin. I'd say of all the controller, this might be the most useful. But I don't know how to use it too well, so for me it's just kind of a handy plugin. I have used it for sidechain before, and it works pretty well. So yeah. Oh man, some good water. Okay. Next we got, what the hell is this? I don't know what plugin that is. Phase Inverter. Wow. So it's gonna go down here next to the mute plugin, just because you see this button right here. You know what it does? It reverses polarity. So that's why. What is this, phaser? I think this is phaser. Let me check. Yeah, it is phaser. Okay. Phaser's gonna go in useful or handy tier. Yeah. I think I like. Let's see. I should adjust these a little bit. So I like chorus the most and phaser the least. I don't know. Not that phaser's a bad effect, but I just prefer to use. I just use choruses more than flangers and more than phasers. That's for sure. Next we got Pitcher. Pretty similar to Frequency Shifter. I may as well just put them next together. It allows you to, well, instead of frequencies, you move pitches up and down. I know there's like a difference between these two, but I honestly don't remember what it is. I know this one has like a Foreman option or a Foreman slider you can adjust. So, yeah, like I said, they're kind of similar, but have a big difference. So I would recommend you watch a guide on either one, just so you know which one to use. So next we got Pitcher. This is an auto-tune plugin. I don't know. I don't know how to rank this because I think auto-tune is like very like divided in terms of like if people like songs that have auto-tune or not. So I think I might just put it in the question mark tier just because I just don't have an opinion on it at all. Plucked. Bad plugin. I will say it does sound nice, but it's only like it's only two knobs and that's it. That's all it does. And I don't know why they put it in the special category or synth specials. Like, what's so special about a little plucked sound? Like, come on now. Ooh, all right. Next we got Poison. I really like Poison. I use it. I use it a lot more than probably most people do, just because it's a pretty old synth. But like, I'm aware that there's better synths than Poison. Okay, I don't know why I'm putting it in God tier. I should put it in super useful. Um, Probably below. I think I'm gonna put it here. Um, yeah, it's pretty easy to use. It's um, oh yeah, I should show you in full detail as to why I really like it. It's because of this section here, the Transgate. It's very very cool. I really like the Transgate. I used it a lot. Um, it just allows you to make your own rhythms basically, and I just I don't know. I just really like that for some reason. I don't know why. It's just so easy to use. Okay, what? Oh, this is the Razor plugin, right? Um, I don't know. I'm just gonna put it in here because it doesn't really do much other than just make your keyboard light up with the music. I guess it's just kind of a personal preference thing. All right, this is Fruity Reverb 1 and 2. So Fruity Reverb 1 is going to go here because Fruity Reverb 2 is just better. It's higher quality, it looks cooler, has more controls. Um, yeah, there's nothing more to say. I mean, it's just a simple reverb plugin. Um, I don't know what this is. This is Rewired. Okay. Okay, so I've actually looked up what Rewired does, and what it's actually kind of a cool plugin. What it allows you to do is use FL Studio within other DAWs. So if there's I don't know if there's like a Ableton effect you like, you can use this plugin to activate that plugin here, or vice versa. So it's kind of a cool plugin. Although I have heard that they stopped supporting it. I'm not sure if that's right though, but I don't know. I don't know if I should put it in handy though, because I don't know if it really works anymore. And I think it's also going to depend on the person if they have multiple DAWs. So, like for me, I only have FL Studio, so for me, this is kind of a useless plugin, but for some, it might be good. I don't know. I could put it here, but I'm not sure. I'm just going to put it in the question mark tier. Next, we got Sakura. Sakura. Yeah, this is an awesome plugin. It's definitely the most unique synth in this DAW. It's basically allows you to make guitar sounds and pluck sounds, and I also just like the UI. It's very cool. Um, SAR. I don't know. I don't really use this plugin a lot. I mean, I have used it before. You can make some very very cool sounds with it. I also really like the UI, so I'm just gonna put it below DX10. So yeah, very cool synth. Fruity Scratcher. I never used this before. I don't know. I'm just gonna put it in the meh tier because it's kind of niche, I guess. Um, Fruity Send. Okay, this is a pretty useful plugin, mainly because it allows you to send a audio signal to another mixer track, and it allows you to basically have have its own specific effects, without really affecting the main signal, if that makes sense. So you'll see people use this to basically control the reverb effects on the original sound, instead of like having having it affect the whole sound, the whole original sound. If I don't know if that makes any sense or not, probably not, but just know that's useful, and you may have to use this at some point. I have used it before. So next we got SimSynth. This is just it's just a slightly more advanced version than 3x Oscillator. I've honestly never used it before, but I have played around with it before. It's pretty nice, I guess. So next we got Slicer, right? Slicer, it's gonna go in the handy effect or handy tier. Don't use it too often, but I think if you want to do some crazy sampling stuff, you can definitely go for it using this synth, or not a synth, but it's more of a just a sampling tool, I guess. And then SliceX is just a slightly, well, not slightly more advanced, but a much more advanced version of Slicer, basically allowing you to control. I don't know if it allows you to control every like parameter or every audio signal that's chopped up, but I just know you can do way more than simply slice up a sound into pieces. But yeah, next we got Fruity Soft Clipper. This is a whoa. Okay, I don't know what happened there, but Soft Clipper. This is gonna go in the super useful tier. I know a lot of people really like this plugin. I personally don't really use it too often, just because I prefer to use Fruity Limiter. It kind of does the same thing as that, but except it's just its own separate plugin, I guess. I don't really know why, but still, I still think it's a useful plugin, despite me not using it very often. All right. Next, we got Sound Font Player. I think sound fonts in general, are fascinating to listen to, but yeah, again, it's going to depend on the person. You know, if someone's making music using like Mario 64 instruments or something from a video game or a video game remix, then this plugin could be, it could be god tier for them. For now, I'm just gonna put it in the handy tier. I don't use sound fonts at all to make music, but it doesn't mean I won't play around with it. I've played around with it before. It's nice that they have it in FL Studio. All right, I think we all know where this one's going. Let's put it here. No, it's here. No, it's here. Okay, yeah. Soundgoodizer. Just the name itself is an S tier. Is S tier worthy, right? Fruity Spectroman. I don't know what this is. It looks like a freaking toaster, and I don't know, dude. I don't know what I think Wave Candy can already do what this does. So I mean, may as well put it here, right? Yeah, I'm gonna put it next to here, next to dB meter. Next we got Spreader. This is another newer plugin they've added in a couple updates ago. It's basically a stereo widener. I'd say it's a very useful plugin, just because it's just always nice to have stereo width into your music. So Next, we got Fruity Squeeze. This is like a Bit Crusher distortion plugin. I've recently started using it, and it's a pretty nice distortion plugin. It has come in handy, and just honestly lately, so I kind of want to put it, near the top, but at the same time, I do prefer to use these other effects, so let's put it here. Next, we got Stereo Enhancer. I don't know. It's kind of obsolete now that we have stereo, or now that we have a spreader. So it's just a meh plugin for now. I mean, it can be nice if you just want like a quick stereo enhance instead of just needing to use a lot of CPU for a bigger plugin like spreader. But yeah, it's just a meh plugin for me. This one though, Stereo Shaper, I do think this is a very useful plugin. I might put it next to Spreader just because I just think it has a much bigger difference than spread or than Enhancer will have. But it's basically what allows you to do the whole mid-side EQing thing. So I will say the only thing I don't like is the UI is kind of confusing because there's like way too many sliders and stuff that are, I don't know. I just don't really know what. I just use it for the presets, honestly. I use it for the presets. I never tweak any knobs because I'm scared it's gonna do something bad. All right, so okay, now we've gone over my top 3 plugins. So Citrus, number 1, number 2, Flex, and number 3, GMS. These are my top 3 synths, not effects, but synths. Otherwise, I would have probably had Patcher up here, but these are my top 3 synths. So let's look at Citrus, shall we? So I'm sure you're already familiar with the UI because I've done tutorials on using the synth before, but this is a very cool looking synth. It has so many parameters. I made so many presets using this. You basically just have infinite control. You have all these FM knobs here, all these filter routings, and they each have its own parameters, volume, LFO, it even has like a distortion thing here that you can mess around. This is like the same menu as Fruity Love Filter. And, that's already a very good plugin, but to have it in Citrus, definitely awesome. It's even got built-in effects, which, I'll be honest, some of them, the reverb doesn't sound, I don't know, I prefer to use reverb too in it as an effect, but it's still awesome that it has delays, it has reverbs, chorus, you can even automate, or not automate, but you can, I don't know, like it still has like its own parameters as here that you can put in if you want. There's just so much control here, so much controls. That's why it's a top 3. I don't think I've ever really got to explain what Flex does, but it's basically just, you have so many sounds to choose from. It has so many instruments, so many packs. Look at all these packs here. It still gets updated to this day. Like, it actually just got updated yesterday. Like, yesterday, they just added this one here. And you can get them for free if you have the FL Cloud, or just buy them individually without the subscription. And GMS, I don't think I've explained that one either, but GMS, once again, it's cool looking. Has a ton of different waveforms you can choose. Tons of effects here. Everything is like in front of you. You don't have to go through menus. That's why I really like this plugin. So it's even got FM here, RM, tons of presets. So Yeah, there we go. I think I've explained everything I want to say. Toxic Biohazard, another very good plugin, although it kind of, I don't know, it's a bit outshined by Citrus because they do share some similarities, but I figured I can show you what it looks like. So, where is it? Toxic Biohazard. Here we go. Look at this. Look at this UI. Doesn't it look cool? Um, I'll show you what I like about it the most. Let me just go to a default patch. So, look at all these options. Look at that. Like, Citrus doesn't have this many options, so that's one good thing I can say about this. And also the effects. I think the effects are better than the ones from Citrus. And plus you have more effects. So you have flanger, you have phaser, lo-fi. And I think they sound a bit better than the ones in Citrus. And even these waveforms are very nice. I really like the triangle ones. I like the organ. I've made some cool sounds using this before. Even the presets sound awesome. So, I've already put it there. Sorry. Ooh, all right. Transient processor. Ooh, well, I might put it at the very top of super useful, just because it basically fixes a lot of problems that drums can have. So it just adds a lot more attack to your drums. It even works on synths too. It allows it to basically articulate the sound better, have more oomph, I guess. It even like takes away some of the tail, the tail or the end of every, I don't know, if a sound has too much reverb, this can reduce, the end of that sound, and or even improve if you want like a pseudo compressor type of or limiter type of thing, or even like a pseudo maximizer. But I've used it so much, I might put it. I don't know. I kind of want to put it in the God tier, honestly, just because I've used it. I use it so much. It's a really good plugin. Next we got Transistor Bass. Honestly, it's kind of a meh plugin. I've never used it before, and honestly, it's I don't know. It's kind of niche because it's only bass sounds and that's it. It's also got a sequencer in there, but I don't really use that, or I don't really use sequencers within plugins at all. So yeah, I'm just gonna have to go in the meh tier for now. Next we got Transporter. This is another fairly new plugin. I don't really have an opinion on this because I've just never used it. I mean, I have used it, but I just have very, very all over the place opinions about Transporter, so I'm gonna put it here. Next, we got Tuner. This is just a free tuner for your guitar or whatever. It can be good to correct your, in case you're dragging a sample that might be out of key, you can use this to try and tune it however you want. Or you can just, if you're doing live recording stuff, you can just tune your instrument through this. So that's awesome. And then these are VFX stuff, or this is like patches stuff. I don't really know how to rank these just because I never used them before. I'm just gonna put them all here because I honestly forgot what they do. There's even a new one. I think it's called Python or something. I don't know. Or scripts. I don't know. I don't know what it does. So I don't know what any of these do, to be honest. I forgot. Next we got Video Player. This is another one that I just don't know. I don't know how to rank it because I never really play videos. I mean, if I want to play a video while making the song, I'll just use Google and open YouTube. That's how I don't know. Maybe some can find a use for it, but let's just move on. We're almost done. Vintage chorus. I like it more than the normal chorus just because it's nicer. I might put in this super useful just because it sounds great. Same with vintage phaser. It also sounds really good. It's even got a delay option, which can be nice. Vocoders. I don't use vocoders at all. I don't know, dude. I don't know how to rank these either because I think it's just I don't know. I just don't do live performance stuff. I don't sing. I don't I don't have a need for these, so put it in the question mark. Voltage controller. This thing gives you like a warning or something before opening that menu. I don't know what it does. Putting it here. Wave Candy. Wave Candy. This one, super useful. I like this plugin. I use it to. Let me show you what it does. Let's close that. Oh, we are full. Okay. Where is Wave Candy? Ah, here it is. So this basically allows you to analyze this allows you to analyze frequencies and analyze stereo width, as well as analyze uh, gain control and all that stuff. So that's why I put dB meter and Spectroman at the bottom, just because Wave Candy does all that at once. So, and plus I just like the transparent look to it. It doesn't it's not too distracting. You can just kind of have it here, but still see what you're doing. You can resize it however you want. So I usually just keep it pretty small, like in the corner somewhere, where it's not too distracting. So. Okay, we're almost done. Wave Traveler, don't know what this does. Wave Shaper, a distortion plugin, pretty useful. I'll just put it next to the other distortion plugin. Put it here. Okay. Let's see. Okay, these are the controller. XY controller, XYZ controller. Yeah, I'm just gonna put these in handy because it can be nice to link several parameters into one knob. So, and finally we got Z game visualizer, whatever, putting it here. All right, we are finally done with the tier list. This probably took long as hell, but I did it. All right, well. Hopefully you guys enjoy this video. If you guys disagree with any of my choices, then let me know down in the comments. And yeah, I'll see you all next time. Peace.